want to help people, right? But the thing is that they actually have free will to have a miserable life, if that's what they choose, to be overweight, to eat sugar, to do whatever they choose, and they have freedom, and it's cool. And you must not go in saying, I've learned this thing, I'm going to show you, I'm going to change it, because all you're doing is actually saying you're not powerful to have your life the way you want. All right, so let's get into day 2. So applied intuition, understanding how to read the field. Definition of intuition, what the mind apprehends before rationalizing, okay? So what works? No coaching. Don't coach, just give what you get. You're not there to try to fix someone. So you're coaching when you're actually giving advice and trying to share things from your rational mind. You're an intuition, honestly, when it doesn't really make that much sense, right? That's intuition. Intuition is when you're just going with what you get, and this is it. And it's just, you're not focusing on how they need to fit. You're not trying to do anything else other than this is what I get. Now, if what you get is like this is it, and I don't know why something in my heart is suggesting that you need to go to Africa and you've never been to Africa, that's intuition. That's not coaching. That's this random thing. Like, how did you get that? So you see the difference? Like, the difference when I'm asking the person to ride a bike. Well, the difference is if she's really into, riding a bike because it creates health, right? That's her coach. But if it's just this random thing, she doesn't even think about that at all, but she's just getting, you need to ride bikes and you're going to feel great. That's intuition. Do you see the subtle difference there? You'll just learn to know. And right now you don't know, and that's good. But you will just learn the feeling when you're being intuitive versus when you're actually there projecting and coaching. So right now it's okay. It's okay to just go for it. You'll know because the person will light up and it will really impact them. So you've just got to trust. The best thing to do at the moment is to just share. Not try to overthink it. Just if it's there, just share it. Just go with it. Hey, that's the best thing to do. It's kind of like the more that you just start talking and sharing, the more that's there, the more that's available. So the best thing to do is just start talking. The worst thing that can happen is that it's not a great read, but it starts to get the juices flowing, so to speak. And we noticed that as soon as someone else in our group started talking yesterday, we were able to get more information and that energy. So you just got to start. And so, sometimes when I'm doing a reading, I'll just start. I'll say, here's what I get, and then it just pops up because I leave the tension there. Okay. Something that I didn't share yesterday that I was talking about with Sam a little bit is that you don't talk yourself out of it. Don't talk yourself out of it. No maybes or, just don't go into any of that. I'm not sure what this means. Don't talk yourself out of it. What you're actually doing is you're about to hit some gold and you just need to wait a minute. Because all you're doing with the filler words is reducing the tension of you to get the right information, right? So of course you don't know. It's all about not knowing. Of course it doesn't make sense. It's all about it not making sense, but your need to have to say that in the moment is killing the intuition, right? So you just share, and then if it's not there, you just stop and you go back into innocence and you're asking yourself, what does it actually mean? And you just stay in it and then you share again. What you're sharing in innocence doesn't need to be a complete sentence. It doesn't need to be complete. The thought doesn't complete, Sometimes I'll be there and I'll share, and then I'll have to sit and wait for the next thing to pop up. It might take a while. Make sense, everyone? No predictions and no fixing. Always go into innocence. After lunch, it took us a few goes to get back into the rhythm of innocence, all right? Always go into innocence. So what's the definition of innocence? Innocence is not knowing. You don't know how it is. When you're innocent, you don't know how it is. You don't know. That's what it means. It means, and you can do different words, it's just not knowing. You're witnessing it for the first time. You don't know. You're in a new city. You don't know how the new city is. You don't know about this new food, right? What is this? You're innocent to what is this? You don't know this new person. How exciting is the beginning of a relationship? You don't know. You're in innocence. You're figuring things out. You're learning about each other, right? That's it. You don't know. You're just, and there's a lot of juice and excitement in that. So innocence, you don't know. You know that you're in your rational mind when you're already knowing. You're already knowing. Here's what you need. So you just don't know. Go with what you get first. Remember, intuition is what the mind apprehends before rationalizing. Just go with it. Who cares how random it is? What's interesting is, we were talking about this morning, is when you do get some sort of symbol, how is it that it's that you've got, right? Like, how is it, some people saying a swing yesterday. Out of all the things you could think of, why is it that? It's not random, my friends. It might seem completely random, but why is it that? There's something that you're picking up on. And your superconscious doesn't know how to communicate in English or Spanish, or doesn't know how to do that. It was working with you way before then. So it works in symbols. So what is a symbol? A symbol symbolizes the information. It's a representation of the information. Feeling, words, sounds. It could be a memory from your past. It could be a TV show, a cartoon, a famous person. It's symbolizing the information. It's not the information. It's like a map of the United States isn't the United States. It's a representation of it. It's a symbol. So what you get, the feeling, these things, while you're practicing, you can share it. You will run into difficulty by always needing to share the symbol, however. It's bound to happen. So you're better to start good habits right from the beginning, honestly. You know, when you're learning something new, like a coach will say, well, have good habits. You're better to start as soon as possible. So yeah, good stuff, yeah. And good for you to just acknowledge the tension to want to go and, learn more. So the empowered you is the creative you. So whenever you start, choose the end result of the reading, okay? Choose to be of service, choose to get the end result, choose to go into innocence, and choose to, you're serving yourself by learning, you're serving the other person, and there's no ill intent, right? So you're just there, and you're just going to go, the last one is you're just going to go for the truth. You're just going to share the truth. The good, the bad, it just is. It just is what it is. The truth is what the other person wants to hear. When you do Recode, which we, obviously we're growing into, you just go for the truth. And parts of you, especially those of us that want to make everyone feel good around us, we try to be nice. We try to be nice. You ready for this one? Nice stands for nothing inside us cares enough. If you're trying to be nice, you don't care enough to tell them how it is. Right? And, you don't help them, that's for sure, by not telling them the truth, right? You say, oh, everything's going to be okay. But your intuition says it's not going to be okay. It doesn't help them by giving them a false hope, does it? You must give them the truth. And that takes a bit of courage sometimes. So we are going for the truth when we do this. So it's really important. And everyone here has complete freedom. I think we were working yesterday and you're like, oh, this is actually a bit too much. I'm like, cool, no problems. We don't need to do it. No one here is against their will. Everyone's choosing to be here. Everyone's saying, yeah, I want the truth. I'm going for it, right? And I'm ready for it. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn Recode. I want it. So we do know that. And everyone has the right to stay in their sessions or leave the sessions. Right, yesterday we had it was funny, and I won't pick on them too much, but we had a session over here, and they just chose for the first session, they just wanted to have a chat. And that was fine, and I noticed it. I was like, oh, okay, they're not doing the session. They all seem happy about it. They all seem content having their conversation over here. And I think for 45 minutes, they just had a chin wag. And that was fine. Right? It's okay. And I want you to all get that, is that you're powerful, you're in choice, and you're going to get what you want to get out of it. And so just know that it is very empowered. I remember I went to some courses and, we had one person choose to not come back after a few days, and they were in our group and they berated us. And I remember and telling us off, like, how did you let someone in your group, how did you not stand for them? And I was like, it's your course. You failed, not me. And so they made us like ring this person to try to convince them to come back. So we all had to go ring them, and the guy's like, oh man, I'm just over it. I don't want to come back. I'm all good, And obviously we all know he had an unconscious agenda, and it's silly. He should have come back, whatever. But the thing is, if that's what the person wants to do, they get to live the consequences of that. So we talked about a few of the unconscious rights. So the right to be loved and give love, the right to exist in our own way, the right to have needs and have those needs met. The fourth one is actually to make choices, our own choices, and get our own consequences. This is actually the right of the individual. It's actually the person's right. There's consequences, right? But they have that choice. They're part of this thing called free will. Free will. So they have the right to make choices and face the consequences. We actually, as an organism, we have that. That is our right. It's only the right ways. You have the choice to do it. So if you choose to be involved or not, it's all good. So the point is that when you're working with someone, they're here. Hey, they want it. They're here. They want to learn. They're a part of it. They're safe. They're free, and it's their choice. Which is really cool. And it's also why when we get to Recode, we actually ask for permission. We actually say, please give me permission if you would like Recode. Now, obviously, we don't have to do it. If we had to do that every time, it would be like, after 5 days, permission here is granted. Like, we're here to learn, right? But when we do ask for permission, we don't walk out there and we start working with people who haven't given permission. It's just, honestly, you're actually seeing them as powerless. You're actually seeing them as powerless if you try to project onto their life. We were talking about it this morning about we want to help our mother or our sister or our son, we want to help people, right? But the thing is that they actually have free will to have a miserable life. If that's what they choose, to be overweight, to eat sugar, to do whatever they choose. It's there from, 80 to 100 odd years. It's theirs. And they have freedom, and it's cool. And you must not go in saying, I've learned this thing, I'm going to show you, I'm going to change it. Because all you're doing is actually saying you're not powerful to have your life the way you want. That's actually what you're saying, isn't it? If you're not letting them do life their way, and so you actually make it worse. No matter how much you force them to sit down and maybe read my book or what you're actually saying is you're not powerful enough to just do what it is that you want and have your own consequences. It's really interesting. So it never works, right? Those of us who have tried to help family and friends, it never works because we actually see them as powerless. And the opposite is to actually go, you know what? Hey, you're energetically, right? Not verbally, you're allowed to do life however you want. And what I have is an offering. This is an offering.